Hello everyone, it's M4J here, and welcome back to the new M4J network here on openttd. Just get the microphone once again in the right position. I always seem to start with it in the wrong position. I've no idea why. But yes, welcome back here to the M4J network. I know I say new, but it's basically the same one as we've all come to know by now. And here we are at Sanley. This is probably the most lackadaisical intro to a video I've ever done. But here we are at Sanley, and you may have noticed some things have changed from last episode. First of all, it is now 100% an island, or at least a peninsula, because it's still technically connected by land over here. And also, we have this new boulevard that goes right the way through the centre of town. It also skirts underneath the south end of Deffing and dives underneath Sanley before emerging over here just north of Nudhead, and then winding its way round like so, and connecting up with the main, I guess north-south it is at this point, motorway here that then becomes the South Coast Highway. It's not going to be called the South Coast Highway, it'll probably have a nicer name than that, but right now that's what it's going to be called. So last time out, we built these motorways, these roadways, and I built this boulevard with a central gap here for the trams to run through, not really thinking it was going to be used for anything other than trams. But I've had an idea, and it involves the Sanley Metro, which is the tram network, but also building a line that's more considered a metro line than an actual tram line. You can kind of call it a tram train, I suppose, if you want to. But it'll be street running in and around Sanley here. You might have noticed I've already altered the station here, as well as removing the tracks. I think it was on this side here. And also these are tram track only stops now. The buses won't use these, which I think is a nice touch as well. It's going to come down this street here, down this street here to the boulevard, and then it's going to run down the middle here until it gets to this. And this is the first obstacle. I'm going to unpause the game here because I need these trams to move out of the way for something that I'm about to do. When it gets to here, I'm planning on having it tunnel underneath this section here, emerge over here, have a stop here before another tunnel, which is then going to take it out to here, where there'll be another stop, and then another tunnel where it's going to emerge here, and then there'll be another stop probably up here somewhere with a bridge going over the road here. At this point, it's going to split. One line's going to come down through Nudhead, Fort Bintown, Sinfingford, Readinghead, Dentfield, and all that, and then it's going to split again, one going that way, one going that way. The other one is going to head north through Inveddington and probably Beddingstone, Slewwood, Hadwood, and then probably connect up with the main line here. And it's going to be sort of an extension of the Sanley Metro. So it's taking the principles of the Sanley Metro and extending it further out into the suburbs, as it were. Now, I thought about doing this using buses and coaches as well, but I decided to do it with trams purely because we don't have that many trams on the network outside Guard City. We've got the ones at Fort Flonwood, and I'm trying to think where else. Bar City will have trams, but it doesn't currently. That's something for a future episode, actually. But otherwise, yeah, that's basically it. So I thought we've got a good little system here going on at Sanley at the moment, considering Sanley's kind of a hub for this part of the network. Again, I'm going to use the P word here and talk about Patreon. Anyone who wishes to become a Patreon supporter, patron, you will unlock several franchises depending on what tier you commit to. And part of your tier rewards is you get these franchises, and the franchises are split by region. So this is the southwest of the map. This is basically a region. I think somewhere on my Discord I have a region map, and you'll be able to go on there and look. There'll be multiple bus, air, ship franchises per region, and then railways are split mainly by route, but also partially by region. And this is one region, so I thought, why not start building this out, expanding it, using it as a test bed for how that kind of system would work, and then if someone wishes to come in and take it on, that's entirely up to them. So I'm going to get on with this. I'm going to start building this. Now, I've not really put much planning into this. I was originally, when I was first looking at this, going to have the new metro connection join up here and then separate again. The only reason I'm not doing that is because these stops here are quite close together, and they're perfect for trams and buses, but I think they're too close together for the system that I've got in mind for this new part of the network. Also, you see I'm using double length here because I'm going to use, I think, probably the Metrolink tram vehicles for this, which will mean having to rebuild this slightly as well to match. I think what I'll do for this is shift everything down a few tiles and double length it. Actually, I might not even have to do that. I might just take out this central line of stops here and then basically reduce the number of stops here by a third. I think that'll work too. We'll come back to that in a second. But yeah, that's my plan for the first part of this video. I am, if I have time, going to also set up some truck routes to and from this freight depot. If, for whatever reason, I don't have time, that'll be next week's episode. So, little spoiler alert there for you guys as well. Okay, let's get on with this project. Let's see how far we get, shall we? Alright, so here we are with the first 2 branches done. They're quite long, I'm sure you'll agree. You know, out from Sanley, through here to North Circle, that is where the divide is, yeah. And then down through Nudhead Bus Station, Tanner Road, The Heights, Lower Kilns, etc, etc, etc. And then down here it splits again. Half of it, half the line, one of the lines, going down here to Sledingham Quay. The other one coming across this way into I keep going to say Dartbridge Woods. But overall, I think we've got a pretty good set of connections here. We've got lots of bus stations along the way. Barthingbourne Bridge for one, Sledingham, New Bunway, and then up here at Nudhead. And these are going to be for the local region. So, you know, Nudhead bus station is going to have bus lines that serve pretty much Nudhead and down into Fort Bintown, and maybe even to Dentfield actually as well. New Bunway will come down here to Genningville, as well as up into Dentfield, down to Sinville, which is also going to be served by Sledingham. You know, there's going to be a lot of variety going on here. Gardinghead could probably do with a bus station as well, but it won't be directly connected to the metro here. There'll be a different way of getting to and from, probably on a bus. Lindham as well. It doesn't have a bus station, it won't have a bus station, but it will need some kind of bus connection to the rest of the network. And because these are all on the main roads as well, you can imagine there'll be some coach services set up as well, particularly between Sanley and some of these central bus stations, just to provide other routes really for passengers to take. Right, first half of this episode then is done. Second half, we're going to go from Nudhead up here into Sleward via Inveddington. And then here we're going to split. One line's going to come down here to, I was going to say to Drondinghead, but actually maybe not. But I definitely want one line coming up this way, and into Renfing Way. It says Renfing Way on Sea. I'm going to change that to just, Kenfing Way on Sea. I'm going to change it just to Kenfing Way, because I don't think we have a Kenfing Way anywhere else on the network. Because that is huge, and that's a major metropolitan area that we would serve. The other line, there's a question. Could potentially just come up to sort of this area here, but then there's quite a gap in this section, which I'm not a huge fan of. So I think for now, I'm just going to build the one branch up this way, and then we'll go from there. If we end up adding extra branches in future, so be it. I definitely want a connection to the railway here at Broadhead. In fact, I'm going to get that built now, because I want to guarantee that this is going to work. So if I do this, I have just realized, nope, that's actually fine. For a second there, I thought I'd built it right where the road was going to be, but no, all good. We'll build it like so, and then we'll build this like so. Now I could have had this go over the top of the station there, but I kind of like the station layout the way it is, so I wasn't going to sacrifice that too much. But yeah, we're going to start here from North Circle, and we're going to build up and across. We might even make use of this canal bridge here, up into Inveddington, and then along. We could connect over here at Beddingston as well, but I think we might just go in Inveddington, Sleward, Hadwood, and then onwards from there. So let's get on with it. Okay, we are done with this section as well, and I think I know what this other branch is going to do. So from North Circle we go through all of this here. I feel like I didn't rename these stops either, so I'm going to do that probably off camera now, although this one I am going to, in fact, you know what, I might as well do it on camera. You get to hear how I come up with my station names. So that's obviously Hadwood Bus Station, that one's pretty easy. So this one over here, Nudhead Heights. What I normally do is I look around the room and see what's around me that could potentially inspire me. So right now, for example, I've got the football on. Tottenham versus Everton, or Everton versus Tottenham. Everton are the home team. So without giving away the name of the channel that I'm watching, there you go, Skywalk. And then somewhere around here, so that's a power station there, and we've just come off this big viaduct, and there's basically a river running through the center of town here, and it's one that you can already see that I've put some future proofing in to actually turn this into a proper river. So we're like 2-3 streets away from the river, so I wouldn't say we were that close, but we've got this raised bridge here. So we could call it like let's say Lower Viaduct, because we have come off the bridge at that point. In Veddington South is probably a pretty good name, but I'm going to change it to In Veddington Park, because why not? Now this here would be a good candidate for a bus station as well, but I'm just going to call this In Veddington Road. Actually no, I'm going to call it Beddingston Road. You know, like how every town has a London road, because that's the one that went to London. This here is going to be Bridge Alley. There we are. Then we've got Hadwood Bus Station, Hadwood Industrial Park. Again, we're going to change that. Probably going to call this something Avenue. Wood Walk Avenue. There we go, because it's still got the wood for Hadwood. Then we've got Broadhead there, and then it goes into the named stations. So somewhere around, possibly after Ovenwell, Ovenwell Old Town, before Kestrel Park. I think this will be a branch here that spans off, and it'll go through Wentborough, through Cornford, and up to Praninghall. There are other branches that I would like to add, so I would like to somehow get from maybe Nudhead over here to Great Bainington and Chardingham. Maybe even from that bridge we can have, or from Barthingbourne Bridge we can have a branch that heads out that way. I would also as well like to come down here to at least Pleddingston Bay, if not over here. At this point though, we are quite a long way from Sanley, so that might be a stretch too far. Right. One more thing to do in this episode then. We need to get some vehicles running on these lines. So, I need to rebuild this depot first of all. Forgot to do that. So if I can speed up time maybe, or let's see if... Whoops, that's shift, not control. Actually, that was fine. It's these ones that I need to remove. There we go. And if I go... and then remove all these ones in the middle here that I can, which I think is quite limited right now. Never mind. Add these in. If I press and hold tab, do I know when these are leaving? What time is it now? 14:22, and you are leaving at 14:28. You are leaving at 14:35. So far, so promising. And you are leaving 14:27. Okay. So if I just speed up time a little bit here, we'll get to see these trams get out of my way. And then hopefully we'll be able to finish building this renovation of the depot. That's not quite gone to plan, you see, because that one's got in the way again. It's actually a little bit irritating that it's done that, so I'm going to quickly remove that one. Come on, game. It's got this one here that needs to move now. Although, why is it not moving? Which one are you? You're that... Oh, you're the 35. That's why. So yeah, we're going to get this depot rebuilt, repurposed, ready for this new set of vehicles. I just completely blanked on what I was saying then. New set of vehicles. Is it for 35 yet? Almost. There we go. So this side of the depot at least is ready to go. This side is almost ready. It's just that one there that's in the way. But what can you do? Okay, over here then. So we're going to come down and buy... pretty sure it's just the Metro Link ones that I'm going to use for this. I think that would work quite well. Plus Metro Link is already being used, especially, you know, for Manchester. It's used for trams that run outside of Manchester as well. To, is it Rochdale, Oldham? Where else do they go? Altrincham, East Didsbury, is it? I think that's one. I might have made that up. I can't remember. I'm just going to look and see, when is this tram actually due to leave? 14:45. So that's actually not too far away. It's not too bad. So yeah, I am going to use the Metro Link for this. I think, why not? The Super Tram as well is an option. Actually, the Super Tram has a higher capacity. And I believe that's a Sheffield Super Tram. So I might actually go with this as an option instead. That's not a bad idea either. I've got to remember how this was done. So it is depot first, then this, then Sanley twice. Oh, this twice. Then Sanley. Actually, is it? No, it's not the depot twice, is it? It's the depot once. Yeah, I'm an idiot. Remove that one. There we go. Now Sanley twice. I'm a double idiot. That's probably balked my... oh no, maybe not. I thought that I could totally balked my schedule then. But I think we're okay. Right, you are unload, no loading. You are a non-stop via, as are you. And then you are a no unloading, no loading. You are a service. Right, so I'm going to go through and map out these services now. I think the first one is probably going to run down here to Sledingham, and then the next one will be over to Datbridge, and then the third one will be the one that comes up here to Pranley Loop, which I'm pretty happy with that name as well. So yeah, I'm going to get on with those. We'll be back again momentarily. Okay, and with that we are done. 3 new lines. One going out to Sledingham Quay here. One going out to Datbridge Woods. This one here, and then the final one going all the way up here to Pranley Loop. But we'll eventually have a second branch that comes up here to Praining Hall as well. I'm pretty happy with this. I like this a lot. I think perhaps this line here, the longest one out to Pranley, It's maybe a little too long to be considered part of the Sanley Metro as such, but, you know, the Docklands Light Railway goes beyond the Docklands now. And, you know, on this network, the Hatfield Light Railway barely goes through Hatfield these days. We've also got, you know, London Underground is mostly overground, things like that. Just because something is named something doesn't necessarily mean it has to stick exactly to that naming convention. And I'm happy with this. I think this is a really neat little system that we've got growing here now. So you can see we kind of got 2 steps for our Sanley Metro. We've got the sort of commuter-ish bus type trams, the double deckers here, and then we've got the single deck faster trams that go out into the sticks. And you also might have noticed it has a 50-mile-an-hour speed limit along here between Sanley Bridge and all the way over here, Power Way, and then it goes back down to 30 again. Although I think North Circle actually could be the limit, but just where it's built up, I thought it'd be more realistic to have it run at a slightly slower speed. Also, you may have noticed over here, this stop here is actually connected to Old School Lane over here. And they are one and the same. You can imagine you walk across the bridge to get from one to the other. I was tempted to do something similar here with Grove Avenue and Oak Tree Crescent, but I chose not to in the end. I chose to keep them separate. If I build a road bridge over here though, and I put a bus stop, say here, that will be considered part of it. Or maybe even over here, have that connect up. Just for connection reasons. And some of these other stops in and around, in fact pretty much all of these stops will have bus stops connected to them as well. And you may have also noticed over here, Sanley Mill has been constructed, and this is going to be the beginnings of our freight logistic network around this part of the map, which is going to start next episode. So manufacturing supplies, wool and plant fibers. I must admit, actually, wool and plant fibers, neither of those are actually being delivered over here right now. So I might build another little annex like the one we've got here for sort of organic materials like wool and plant fibers. Where I'd build that right now, I don't know. I could just, for now, have it be part of the milk and grain, or fruit and grain. So maybe have livestock and wool in this section, and then maybe have plant fibers be part of this. And the more I think about that, the more I actually like that as an idea. So I'm probably, going to add that in now as well so I don't forget. So you're going to be livestock, or if cargo can carry, and it was wool, wasn't it? And then this one, or if cargo can carry, and it was plant fibers. So I think we've kept our alphabetical order thing here as well, which is quite useful. Right now we are focusing on trucks, but it does mean in the future if trains do come down here carrying those things, they can stop here, and then the trucks will pick it up from here, and they will use the main road here into Sanley, and then somewhere, possibly around here-ish, they'll turn off and then head into Sanley Mill. Alrighty, between this episode and next, I'm going to go through and add some waypoints to these roads here as well. Somewhere, I don't know where along this road, to be honest. I might even just have one at the end here next to Grove Avenue, and let them sort it out themselves from there. But yeah, add some waypoints at these intersections. I'm going to go from something for something a little bit different to what I've done in the past. So in the past, I've kind of gone like Junction 5 West, Junction 5 East, whatever. This time I think I'm going to name the intersections. So again, if you become a patron, you might be able to rename some intersections. And then have, so I don't know, say this road here out of Sanley is the A14. And this one up and down here is the M14. And then this one here would be like the M141. Something like that. Have it be like braided interchange, A14 East, A14 West, M14 North, M14 South, and then, you know, M141 was it? I said West. That kind of thing. And I think that would make more sense. That's basically how it works for real life motorways. Intersections tend to be, or junctions, sorry, tend to be named. officially or unofficially, and then it might be like junction 1 on the M25 is junction 1 on the M2, or I picked a really bad example there. I think junction 1 on the A1 is junction 26 on the M25, or junction 23. It's something like that. And you can already see how that might be confusing to have like junction 1, but it's not junction 1, it's junction 20 something. So we'll find a solution. I'll put some waypoints in, might ask the missus for some help with that, and then we'll go from there. And then yeah, we can start routing trucks hopefully next time. If I do forget for whatever reason, then that's going to be the first part of the next episode. But for now, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button if you enjoyed the video, and of course if you're enjoying the series so far, drop some comments down below. Let me know what you think of the Sanley Metro here. Any ideas for future episodes as well. I'm also going to add these vehicles to their own groups here, and I'm going to set them off to run probably like 10 minutes apart for the time being, just so they don't get in each other's way. And then I'm going to collect the data and then use that to set up scheduled dispatch and get some more vehicles running. I think the frequency on this line is probably going to be, or the lines are, it's probably going to be every 15 minutes. So there's going to be 3 trams an hour. 3 trams an hour coming. Technically 4, but one will be on the next. What am I talking about? 4 an hour on each line. That's what I'm trying to say. So there'll be 12 trams an hour coming through this core. That's what I was trying to say. That makes more sense, doesn't it? Anyway, thank you for watching, guys. Don't forget to hit the like button if you enjoyed the video. All that good stuff. Like I said, comments down below as well. Very much appreciated. If you want to share the content as well, that's always appreciated as well. Helps the channel grow. We're doing pretty good numbers at the moment, so I'd like to keep that momentum going. Otherwise, if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, be sure to hit the subscribe button. If you have already subscribed to the channel, thank you guys for your continued support. That's been looking really encouraging at the moment as well. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and until next time, I will see you soon.